Okay, in Autodesk Maya we have this main interface which I already called the viewport, and there are a lot of ways we can interact with this viewport. The first is zooming in. Of course, you should be using your external mouse for this connected to your computer, either using wired or wireless mouse. So your mouse should have a scroll button on it and then a left and right button. Okay, so to zoom in here, of course you can easily look at what at this software down here, showing you all what I type and what I press on my keyboard, so for easy reference for you to understand what I do. So to zoom in, you can either roll the mouse scroll button, roll it up or downwards so it zooms in, or you can hold Alt key on your keyboard and right click, drag left or right. Hold Alt key on your keyboard and right click and drag left or right at the same time. Alt, right click, drag left and or right. So when you drag left, it zooms out. When you drag right, it zooms in. Okay, that is zooming. Now to pan the viewport. Now panning, when you pan, you click on Alt and middle mouse, drag left or right or anywhere you want it to go. Alt and middle mouse, drag. It moves the whole scene. Now understand that panning is not moving an object. We have this object here. When I pan, I'm not moving the object. I am moving everything in the whole scene. Like I'm just shifting the view so I can see some other things that might be hidden elsewhere. Okay, but the object still remains at its own position. Good. Now, rotation of the viewport. To rotate the viewport, you hold the Alt and left mouse, click and drag. It rotates the whole viewport. Now again, this doesn't rotate the object, it only rotates all the viewports. Because everything in the whole scene gets rotated because the scene itself is rotated. So you can easily work with your objects, perhaps underneath your object and all. Alright. Now let's create a first object here. Polymodeling. We have a sphere, we have a cube, we have a cylinder, cone, torus, a plane and others. You can click here to create your objects, but you can also come to create. Okay, by default when you just install Maya, when you click on the sphere, it appears at this position, the 0th position in the Cartesian axis. At this point it is x, y and z axes are all zeroed out. As we can see here, you have to translate x, translate y and translate z as 0, the rotation values as 0 and the scale values as 1. Okay, and this is the Chatterbox Editor. So the channel, you translate x, y, z values as 0 means this objects at the origin, as the center of the world at this point in time. So when I click on the move tool here and pull either left or right or this way. Okay, so when you move, it gets the values here get affected, they change immediately as you move. Okay, you can also click here to add translate values to your objects. Translate y takes it up. Don't forget how to zoom out. I'm sorry for that. I'm going to explain that very soon. Okay, so translate y takes it up or down. Z takes it on the Z axis. Alright, and if we change all this back to 0, it goes back to the center. Now you can easily press F to zoom in to this sphere which we've created. Once it is selected, you can easily press F to zoom in. Noted. Okay, now before we move on, let's look at what all of these tools here are and what they are for. The first one here is the select tool, and of course you can see the shortcut there, Q. What is it for? Is to select objects. We click and then objects get selected. That's the main work for the select tool. And then this next two are also some other select tools which are not very much widely used. Okay, so let's see what this lasso tool is used for. For the lasso tool, I'm going to go to my vertex mode. In any 3D software, in fact in most 3D softwares, your objects are made up of vertices, edges and faces. Vertices, or vertex plus singular, edges and faces. And in this model, we're going to learn what the vertices are, what the edges are, what the faces are. Right click on your object and hold your mouse. Right click and hold, you should get these options out. I'm still holding my right mouse button. You should get this out. You can drag and drop. You can drag your mouse to any of this and release it. When you drag it to vertex and release the right hand button, you get all of this. If you drag it, if you right click again and drag it to edge, you get this. See what you can select here. If you right click and leave it on the face, this is all what you can get. So now what are these? These are the faces of the objects. 3D objects are always made up of vertices, edges and faces. They are what makes up, they are what gives the form for the 3D object. They are what makes it stand solid, as you can see it here. So edges are the lines, vertices are the points where two or more edges meet. Okay, and then faces are these flat surfaces you see here in between the edges. Now on face mode, you can either do it on face, vertex or edge mode. We want to select using the lasso tool. To select, just click on the lasso tool and drag over whatever you want to select. It gets selected. Alright, so that's how the lasso tool works. Then this next tool is the paint selection tool, which allows you to paint directly on faces or vertices of an object, or edges also of an object. But now it has a radius which is already too big, and we should reduce, because if we just paint like this, it's going to cover a whole lot which we might not want. I paint by clicking and dragging. Okay, so I want to undo this and rescale the vertex. Rescale the radius of this select tool. So I'm going to undo first by pressing Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, or by coming here and clicking undo, or by clicking undo here. But for fast means you can always do Ctrl Z. Okay, so now to reduce the radius of this select tool, you can hold B on your keyboard and click drag left or right. Click drag left or right. So when you drag left, it gets smaller. When you drag right, it gets bigger. Okay, so let's leave it somewhere here. Okay, then you can click on the faces, so it selects it as we want. Alright, so that done, let's see what the move tool is about. Now after selecting any face, you can always move either face, vertex, edge, or the object. To go back to the object mode, you come here and click on object mode. Okay, or but to go to face, vertex or edge, you can just right click and hold and go to vertex. So the move tool works with any mode you are on, either vertex mode, edge mode, face mode or object mode. You can always click on any of the manipulator, any of the vertices here and drag out. It moves it. Or you can select more than one by pressing shift on your keyboard and clicking, selecting as much as you want and pulling out. Alright, so now on the move tool you will notice a lot of buttons here. We have this arrow that points upward. It moves whatever is selected on the y-axis, that's upward weight points. This one moves it on this axis, and as you can see here, that is the z-axis. Look at it here, the blue representing the blue here, z-axis, and then this moves it on the x-axis as it is pointing the direction of the x-axis on this Cartesian drawing here. Alright, so there are also some other buttons here which you can click, like this one in between this and this one in between this y-axis and this x-axis, and this one also. Now as you see, when we pull this up, it moves strictly upwards or downwards. This one moves strictly this way or this way. No matter how I move my mouse, it always moves strictly on that axis alone. But then this axis will move it either on this z-axis or on the y-axis, because it's in between both of them. So with this one I can move my object both upwards and this way at the same time, anyhow I feel like, rather than pulling this up first and then pulling this way. I can easily go faster by using this, pulling it up and down. And the same goes with the other manipulators here. I can pull it on more than one axis at the same time. Okay, if I go to object mode also and look at my Chatterbox Editor here, when I pull this up, it goes strictly up. When I pull this way, it goes strictly on that axis. But when I use, say, this one, it moves it on two axes at the same time, as you can see on the Chatterbox Editor here. It moves it two axes at the same time. Here, another two axes at the same time. Here, two axes at the same time. And then there's one at the center which moves it anyhow on all axes as you see on your screen. So when you click it, just move it just the way it is on your screen, and all axes are affected. You can check it on the channel box here. Okay, good. Now the same goes with the face also. You can pull out, you can move it upwards, you can use this, you can use this, and then the edges also works all the same way. You can select multiple edges, select, and move out. Alright, I'm sure you're enjoying creating your first models right now. I'm enjoying this too, making my first tutorials for some awesome artists out there. Alright, now this doesn't make much sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But you can always tweak this to get something nice which you want to model. Good. So I'm going to delete this now by clicking on the objects. If you are not on this mode, you right click and go to object mode to get back to this mode. I mean, if you are on a face mode, you can right click and go to the object mode, so you can delete this character by either pressing the delete on your keyboard or backspace on your keyboard. So both works the same way. Now after the move tool, there's the rotate tool. Let's click again, and we have this here. Or let's change the shape now. Let's use a cylinder. Okay, so we have the rotate tool here. You click on your object and you click on rotate. You get this pivot here for the rotate tool, of which you can rotate using any of these lines that are drawn there. And remember, as you rotate, the rotate values on the channel box also change When I rotate this, I may want to put this to 90. Okay, I'll rotate this to 45. Okay, and you can move it up. Now remember that these tools, most of these tools have their own shortcuts, so you don't have to come here every time to pick the tools. You can always use the shortcuts by looking at the shortcuts there. For the move tool we have W, for the rotate tool we have E, and for the scale tool, which I will get into right now we have R. So for the rotate tool, shortcut is E. For the move W, rotate E. Okay? So you can easily rotate with any of these tools, as we can see here. Now one more thing, there's this outer edge here which rotates it exactly on the perspective at which you are looking at the object. It does not rotate on the X, Y or Z axis, but just on the perspective which you are looking at. And then if you click anywhere in the center that's outside any of these lines, this also moves anyhow you pull it. So depending on your what you want, you can manipulate this anyhow you feel like. So just get creative and do awesome stuff. Alright, so I'm going to change all of this back to 0 by clicking on the first one and dragging and pressing 0, and here also changing it to 0. Alright, now the next tool here is scale. The scale tool is used to scale your object upwards on this axis, and it works just like the move tool. Scaling with this axis scales it just strictly upwards alone. Okay, on this axis we scale it strictly this way, on this axis it scales it strictly this way. This one will scale it on both this and this axis without increasing the height. Can you see that? Wow. And then clicking and pulling the other way makes it a little smaller. This scales it this way, this way, and then this can reduce the height. So just depending on what you want. I'm going to take this back to not 0 this time, but 1, because if your object is zeroed out, if the scale values are zeroed out, that means there won't be any measurement. You are like saying 0 centimeter X, 0 centimeter Y, 0 centimeter Z, which will make your object not have any mass and volume, any volume. So this has to be at 1, and then the rest at 0. Okay. So now what if I scale this one at the center? This scales everything equally. So the height does not change, leaving out the X and Y axis. Everything moves the same way equally. So you have the same shape, just that a bigger version of it is created. Okay, I'm sure you would use this. You want to use this a lot of times, rather than just scaling on only one axis alone. Now here in the outliner we have everything in our scene. Now this here is our polycylinder one, which was created when I remove this sideways and click on the cube. We have this, and it gets added to our outliner. The outliner contains everything in your scene. We have the polycube 1, we have the polycube 2, a sphere, polycone, a lot of things. We can keep adding them, and they all get updated here. These are the 4 cameras which we are going to learn in a way later course, which you don't have to understand by now. But for now, just understand that this view we are looking at is through a camera, which is the perspective camera. Okay, and of course there's the top camera, front and side camera. Let's look at how to look through them. Now tap the space bar on your keyboard, just tap and leave it, and we see the different perspectives as I mentioned here. We have the top, which is also the Y camera, the camera that looks from the y-axis, then we have the front camera, the side camera. Now to go to any of these viewports, just place your mouse above it. You do not have to click, just place your mouse above it and press spacebar on your keyboard. Now to go back there, just tap spacebar again, place your mouse above any viewport. You don't have to click. Alright, why am I saying you shouldn't click? Let's say you selected a lot of vertices here. You selected a lot of vertices here, maybe a whole bunch, and then you want to move to this perspective, the front perspective, from the perspective camera. I mean, so you come to the front, and if you click outside before pressing your spacebar, you see all what you clicked on gets deselected. So I'm going to undo this. Maybe I was here, then I tap my spacebar, I come here, I don't have to click, I just press spacebar, and all my vertices are still selected as we see. Okay, so let's take note of that. Now we've seen the Chatterbox Editor, we've seen the outliner. Let's see what the Attribute Editor is. The Attribute Editor contains various properties, which and history which has been done, which has been done on our object, various actions we performed on our object. Then we make some little edits to this thing. You don't have to understand this now, but I'll explain later. I'll explain soon. I'm sorry. So now I've just done some little tweakings on this cylinder model here. When you go to the Attribute Editor, you can right click here and see a lot of things I've done. I deleted the components, I deleted an edge, I split a ring. Okay, the first thing I did was to create my polygon cylinder here. Then I split, I inserted edge loops, which we will learn later. I said this edge loop, this has 3 edge loops. I deleted some edges, which you can see here. Then I also deleted some faces, which you can see here. Okay, so this contains the history of what you've done, and then the texture, how to color your objects after modeling. So we have the texture attributes here. Okay. So I'm sure you're loving this. So that's what the Attribute Editor is. It contains all what you've done, as well as some other options, which, as we can see here, go for advanced users, of course, which we will be covering in this course. Okay, so I'm deleting this. Now let's go back to the Chatterbox Editor. Below the Chatterbox Editor, we have the layer editor. I'm sorry, this is the Chatterbox, not Chatterbox Editor. The Chatterbox, and then below it we have the layer editor. The layer editor works just like Photoshop. If you are familiar with Photoshop, you can put a lot of objects. You can create different layers for different objects, hide them, reference them, so you don't interfere with your work as you work. So I have 3 objects in my scene here. These are various options which you may have to look at later, but for basic users, we can create layers by clicking here, and you can create empty layer or create layer from selected. When we create empty layer, we have this means visibility. You can click on it, nothing happens because no layer has been assigned to this layer 1. Okay, so click here to get these options out. You can change the name, let's say cone layer. Here is normal or normal, let's leave it at that. Visibility, okay, and save. Now I want to add this cone to our layer. Right click, select the cone, then right click on the layer and add selected objects. Now it seems nothing happened, but when you turn off visibility, the cone goes off and other objects remain here. You can add selected object to any cone by selecting the object, to any layer by selecting the object and right clicking on the layer you want and clicking add selected objects. Now this add selected object, then view it back or hide it. Okay, and then here we have the reference, which makes our objects reference so that we won't be able to select them, so they don't interfere with our work. Say we're working on this sphere and want to keep selecting things without selecting this other object, you can just put them in a layer and reference them. Okay, and if I take that back to normal, they get selected again. Okay, so now let's put this one in a layer, in its own layer also. Layers, create layer from selected. Now this has been put in a layer. When I press V, it goes off. V, it comes back. This is template. I can't click on it also, but I can see through it. And then reference, I won't be able to see through it, but I won't be able to click on it also. And then you can change the settings here too. You can change the name, sphere, layer. You can make a template from here, hide the visibility and save, or bring it back here. Alright, so let's move on to what these panels are. This first panel here is the curves and surface panel, which contains different lines, various lines which we can work with when modeling. This is the circle, the square, and various drawing lines. This one is the EP curve tool. Click. As you keep clicking, it keeps drawing the lines for you, adding curves to them. You can finish it up by right clicking, by tapping enter on your keyboard. Alright, so we have our curve tool there, our curve there. Then there are others also. There's a pen tool which helps you to scribble the curves, okay, and then the 3-point curve which helps you draw this. Now that's what the curve tool is about. There's also the knobs, and the knobs are objects without volume. Here we have the sphere knob, we have the cube, okay, knobs cube, which you can also work with. We have this knob cylinder. Alright, so that's what knobs is about. With time you're going to learn how to model using knobs and curves. But for now, let's move on to poly modeling. Here we have the sphere, cube, cylinder as we've seen before. Now by default, when you create your object, here, by default they pop up at the center of the screen, but then you might want to draw each of these objects by yourself, like interactively, which I prefer rather than just selecting and getting my object here automatically. I prefer going to create knobs, polygon primitives. All of these shapes that we see here are here, and even more, so you can always come here to pick any one you want. But then where I'm coming to is the interactive creation. You click on interactive creation, and then click on your object and see saying drag on the grid. Click and drag by yourself. Okay, cylinder, drag on the base and then pull up for height. You can drag and then pull up. Zeros, they all work in different ways. Okay, so that's what the polygon tool is about, and then you can start manipulating your objects. You can rotate here, you can rotate, you can scale it up. Alright. If you get lost, always look down here to see the buttons I click on. Now the next thing on the panel here is the sculpting tool. The sculpting tool. After modeling, you might want to retweak your object using some sculpting tools. Autodesk Maya is not great for sculpting, but it can be used once in a while to just clean up your work. How does it work? When you click on any of these tools, you first select your object, then click on any of these sculpt tools here. This is the move, the grab tool, which I call move, the grab tool. I zoom out. Okay, there's the radius for the tool. This is too big right now, so I'm going to reduce it by pressing B on my keyboard and clicking and dragging left to zoom to make it smaller and right to make it bigger. Now I'm still holding B and clicking on my left mouse button. Okay, hold B and click on left mouse button, hold. Then you can zoom in, and it's still too big. Okay, and sculpt. So sculpting just allows you to pull at the areas which are covered by your brush or by your sculpt tool. Alright. There are a lot of things you can do with this. There's the relax tool that makes it smooth. Okay. Okay. And then you can change the settings by double clicking on the tool here. You can see the strength is on 100, which is way too much. I'm reducing this and see how it affects our object again. Alright, so that's the sculpt tool. These are the sculpting tools. Sculpt. This is smooth. Of course, remember, you can always come down to reduce the strength. Here also you can increase or reduce the radius. Look at it, it's big here. When you pull it down, it gets smaller. Okay, and then the strength. So that's for that. Now with these two settings, you might need it a lot of times, so you can just drag it to this dock. If your outliner is hidden, you can always click here to unhide it. Alright, but if you can't find the outliner here, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. If you can't find the outliner, you can always go to Windows Outliner to bring it out, and you can drag and dock it here, and then drag this also and dock it here. So if you want a bigger screen, a bigger view, you can click to hide all of this, and click on their names to hide them. The attribute editor also, you can click and make them hide. You can bring them back. Okay, so next is rigging. Now I'm just going to run over this. Rigging is the process of mapping 3D modeled objects, mapping them to skeletons and joints. As you can see here, this is a joint, indicator, a joint, and a lot of other tools for rigging. So when you want to make your 3D characters or some animals which you have rigged, you want to make it move, you have to, which your model, you want to make them move, you have to come here and rig your character. Or you can also change from this view to the rigging view, and then you get rigging options here: skeleton, skin, deform, okay, and others. So here also we have the animation. All these change to animation tools which we are going to be using in our animation, and some of them are also seen here. And then the next step after animation, one of the final things is rendering. Rendering is the final work, because what you see here is not how it actually looks when you render. It's not actually how the finished work should look. So rendering kind of brings a finishing touch to everything, makes your colors sharper, gives a high quality, makes it presentable for final production, for your clients. Like, that's the final work which your clients will be accepting. Of course, you can either render in video format or image format, and of course a lot of people use the image format. Alright, so here we have basic tools which we won't cover all of it right now. I'm going to go back to the modeling. Okay. We have a lot of tools, a whole lot of tools, but don't get scared by the tools you see here. You just take it one step at a time. Very soon you will be playing with all of these tools, and you'll enjoy it. Here you can create new scenes. This is a new scene, like a new document. You can create a new scene if you want. You can choose to save this. Let me save this on my drive D. Okay. Let's save this as test scene. Okay, you can either choose to save as ASCII or Maya binary. Let's choose Maya binary for this first, and we can save as. So that saves and creates a new scene because I clicked on new scene. Now to open old scenes, you can click here and open any scene you want. Okay, which you can see here also: new scene, open scene, save scene, undo, redo. Now we can save scene as, you can incremental save. There are a lot of things you can do here, which I won't go into right now. Okay. So that's just a brief introduction to this course, to learning Autodesk Maya. A very brief introduction. I'm sure you can now navigate your viewport. You can zoom in, zoom out, you can pan your scene, you can rotate the viewport. You know how to create basic 3D objects. Alright, you know how to use the select tools. You know how to go to the vertex mode or edge mode. How to pull, drag, how to use the Chatterbox Editor, the layers. Okay, I've deleted everything, but let me add some. Okay, you know how to work with the layers. You know how to use the attribute editor at least a bit. You understand what it is used for. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. If you liked the video, please subscribe. If you want more videos, please subscribe so I can be encouraged to do more videos. And make your comments below. Is there anything you want me to add in my video tutorials, or any new tutorial you want me to make? Is there any question you have for me? Please make all the comments in the comment section below. Like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you in the next video. Thank you.